Good evening. I want to remind everybody to please use their microphones. We are live streaming tonight, so get those close so they can hear us at home. If you'll join me, please, in the invocation, and then that will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and all the blessings you have given us. We thank you for providing us the opportunity to serve the citizens of Elkins. We ask that you help us to keep open minds, civil tongues, and warm hearts as we work to continue to make Elkins a thriving community. We ask that you also watch over and guide our country's leaders. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I call our Common Council meeting to order, and we'll ask the city clerk to please call roll.
Councilor Ross Freganera.
Here.
Councilor Chenoweth.
Here.
Councilor Kwanzo.
Present.
Councilor Friddle.
Here.
Councilor Guy.
Present.
Councilor Higgins.
Here.
Councilor Hinchman.
Here.
Councilor Lowther is absent. Councilor Parker.
Here.
Councilor Vest.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. We have one agenda adjustment, which will be Resolution 1439, which we will address later. Is there anyone here for public comment? Did you have any correspondence for public comment?
I did not.
Thank you. Okay, we are going to be giving a presentation by Mr. Mark Doak this evening for Envisions Elkins. Thank you, Mr. Doak. Yes, sir.
Good evening. Thank you very much for having me here this evening. Again, I'm Mark Doak. I'm here on behalf of Envision Elkins. I guess maybe to start off with is that the 2020 census gave all of us a challenge. Whether that's commercial business owners, businesses themselves, residents, even city council. And I say that challenge because between 2010 and 2020, the population of Elkins decreased. We are now a town of under 7,000 people, 6,934 to be exact, and that's as of the 2020 census. And so the decline of population also leads to a decline in business, and the challenge is how do we reverse this trend and how do we grow Elkins? Envision Elkins, what is it? It is it's an informal group of commercial property owners, many who do not live within the city limits, such as myself. As a commercial property owner, we've made an investment in downtown Elkins, and we continue to make those investments so that we can allow existing businesses to grow and new businesses to come in. What exactly do we do? Well, our role is to be positive and have discussions to educate, promote, support, encourage, and comment so that we can develop a successful business climate. Envision Elkins is not a hands-on organizer taking on projects or initiatives. We meet monthly for lunches. Prior to COVID, we met twice a month, but now monthly. Usually it's a small group. But at the same time, we take notes from all of our meetings, and we share those notes with about 50 other people. So I do get emails and comments from the 50 people that are involved in Envision Elkins. As far as the role of the local government is very important to downtown Elkins, because without the support of local government, we can't have a positive business environment. We appreciate the action the council has taken to put forth a strategic plan and its efforts to monitor that plan and keep it moving forward, as well as the streetscape program, which is to improve the downtown community appearance. We also realize that the outstanding police and fire departments we have provide a safe environment, and that for businesses to grow, we also need the infrastructure of water, sewage, garbage collection, and the streets themselves. So again, the role of local government is very important in making sure we have a positive business climate. Now the action, as far as how do we increase population and therefore have an increase in businesses, it's not one single step. I mean, there's a variety of ways you can approach this. If we have a business growing population or business growing community, then that will create jobs, which will bring in population. If we go after a recreation economy, that's going to attract more visitors, which creates more jobs, which will also create population. Also, if we have a safe environment, nestled in the Allegheny Mountains, as we are, then we're going to attract retirees, which is also going to create jobs, which is also going to increase the population. Envision Elkins itself, we're probably more involved with the first one of those, is how do we create more businesses and provide that positive, vibrant business community. So what have we discussed? Well, as you'd expect, if we have 50 different commercial property owners, we're never going to come to agreement on everything that we talk about. But we talk about a wide range of items, from the fire fees to parking, to the rail yard development, to casinos, to the Oddfellows home and what's going to happen with it, how businesses are used, and zoning and other items. If I were to identify 3 items that maybe come at the top of the list that I think are important for a positive business climate and that involves the city council, one of those would be annexation. We realize that annexation is a challenge, especially with the changes in the laws in West Virginia, but it's still something that should be pursued. One of the items I think that we would like to see is currently there does not appear to be a set of talking points about what are the advantages of being within Elkins, something that we as business owners or other community residents could take and share with others and say, here's why you need, as a resident or a business, to be within Elkins. So we would ask, maybe with the city's assistance, we can put something like that together. Another item that you're looking at now is the ARPA funds, ARPA funds, and maybe we can improve the infrastructure in those areas we want to annex. Just as a thought to encourage those people for annexation. The second issue is public safety. The police are doing a great job of increasing the public safety within the community, and we appreciate that. I think something that we would like to see and have talked before is actually have a police foot patrol in the city, something where we can actually see the police on a day-to-day basis, and we feel that communication between the business owners and the downtown residents would lead to better communications and a more positive community for all of us. Something that was mentioned, and I will admit I know very little about, was to investigate the CALEA accreditation. And it was mentioned that that's a gold standard for police departments, and a couple other cities within West Virginia have been pursuing that accreditation. The third item I would mention is Corridor H. Corridor H can be a great benefit for the community, or it can be something that's not a benefit. People can just as easily leave, and businesses can leave the community as well as they come in. And I think our item there is how do we take, and Elkins has always been a community hub, and how do we keep it as a hub for businesses, for residents, for education, for healthcare, and make sure that Corridor H is used as an asset to bring people off that road and into our community. So I guess my summary is that Elkins has a strong economic base, and we have many outstanding individuals. We in Envision Elkins, we're optimistic about the future, but optimism is not action. We know that we also have to take steps. We can't just talk about it, we actually have to do something. But that takes all of us working together, again, as city council, as commercial business owners, as businesses themselves, and as residents. And so I thank you very much for your time. I do have written comments. I'll pass those out if somebody wants that. And the other thing I did, and hopefully many of you have seen this, the Chamber, the Development Authority, and Main Street put together the 2020 accomplishments for Elkins and Randolph County, and I think there are a lot of good things that happen there, and we'd like to see that continue in the future. Any questions or?
I guess I just have one question mark because one question, comma mark, because you are active in the Davis and Thomas community, and one of the things that I often hear anecdotally, or a question I always hear is, why can't we be as vibrant or whatever as Davis and Thomas? And I know a lot of it has to do with the tourist trade. They have a much stronger base of people that come from DC and Pittsburgh, but there's also a quality of the character itself. And you know, I think some of the questions, and I know we're trying to get this marketing and collaborative group together, and hope to do a survey to find out what business owners feel would be helpful that the city could do, really do quickly and expeditiously, besides a huge annexation. But what do you think are some things that would automatically make downtown more attractive to small independent business owners? And you're one, so you know, what was it that?
So a couple comments in regards to that. First item, fortunately or unfortunately, we no longer own any property in Thomas area. So I'm not up there as much. I retired, and we said we would go up there more, and we don't. Now, the difference in the communities. Thomas is I'll get in trouble for this, and Brad, please don't repeat me, I guess. But Thomas is a one-horse town. They are an arts community, and that's what they are. They have one street. And from being up there, I can tell you, people walk that street from one end to the other and back. They walk the entire community all the time, and whatever's on that street, everybody sees it. What's Elkins? Well, when I say we're a hub, we have a lot of health care in this community. Not only Davis Medical Center, but Valley Health, the independent physicians, the Kennedy Dialysis Center. I mean, a lot of health care in this area. We have a lot of government facilities in this area, between the federal and the Mon Forest and the city. You know, we have car dealerships. We have entertainment facilities. We have retail, you know, and we have the arts, and we have education. And so we've had this discussion to ourselves. When you start to say, what is Elkins? It's not one item. It is a hub for a lot of different things. Now, back to the issue about what do we do for downtown, I think appearance is part of it. And part of that responsibility comes back to us as commercial property owners. How do we make sure our businesses look good on the outside so that people want to come in? But it also involves the street, which is why I mentioned the streetscape plan and try to improve that. It's having a safe community, which involves the police, so that when people walk down the street, they feel safe and secure from that aspect of it. And it comes back to a lot of the different organizations that have activities downtown. How do we bring people downtown and make this a destination more than anything else? And there are some discussions, and I appreciate the mayor's involvement with the economic activity. I'm trying to get my wording here right, but economic recreational development.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, and the Ascend program, which is trying to recruit remote workers to West Virginia. And Elkins is being considered as one of those communities at this point in time. So hopefully we can bring those things together. Back to my comment, there's no one magic bullet. If we can get people here, I think we can keep them, but we have to get them here to start with.
Thank you.
Thank you. Long answer, I apologize.
No, that's great.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'll leave these copies here, and you can distribute as necessary. So I hand them to
You can pass them
to
out.
Dave, and
Yes. Thank you again, Mr. Doak. Okay, our minutes for the August 19th, 2021 meeting. I'm looking for a motion to accept those minutes.
Motion to accept.
We have a motion. Any comments or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Down to new business. Ordinance 288, an ordinance of the City of Elkins, West Virginia, reducing the speed limit on Boundary Avenue between Sycamore Street and High Street. This will be the second and final reading. I'm looking for a motion to accept.
So moved.
We have a motion. Any comments or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Ordinance 289, an ordinance of the City of Elkins, West Virginia, to correct city code references to the official name of the city-owned property known now as the Phil Gaynor Community Center. This is the first of 2 readings. I'd like to have a motion to accept, please.
So moved.
We have a motion. Any comments or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. C, Resolution 1437, announcing support for the Appalachian Forest National Heritage Area Pollinator Initiative. That's a mouthful.
So moved.
Do we need a motion for that one?
Yes.
Okay, you made a motion, I'm sorry? Did you?
Counselor Kwanzo did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Please use your microphone, I couldn't hear you.
Sorry.
That's okay, we have a motion, sorry. Any comments or discussion?
I have a question. In the section where it talks about, whereas the AFNHA is seeking pledges for direct or indirect support from pollinator partners for this cause, does that mean we can expect them to request money from the city?
I doubt that it would be direct money. Right now, the tree board has an AmeriCorps member who will be working part-time with the tree board, and the other part-time, the other half of her position will be working with AFNHA as a pollinator researcher, or whatever. So we will be working on projects together. One perfect example of this is right now at Glendale Park. A new interpretive sign was just erected, and the tree board and myself helped with the design of that sign. And so it's another wonderful addition to Glendale Park. It did not come with any direct assistance that I'm aware of. But with this, it is just really formalizing our commitment to providing pollinator opportunities, and also recognizes our work going forward with AFNHA.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the question.
Any other comments or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Oh, and I did hand out information about the initiative, so take a look at that and plant your seeds.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Resolution 1438, approving invoices relating to the City Hall parking lot project. I'm looking for a motion to accept, please.
So moved.
We have a motion. Any comments or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Resolution 1439, City of Elkins Parking Lot Project Change Order Number 1. Looking for a motion to accept.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion. Any comments or discussion?
Is there, can we explain it a little bit, or
Okay. Use your
explain it a little bit to us?
Sure, so if you look down, it would be, what's the second page of the resolution? There's listed 11 items there that are included in the change order. 11, and I will say plus, if you go down a little bit farther, there is a change in the contract time, which is increased by 42 days as well. The completion date is now September the 30th. So not that far off, a couple more weeks. But the items are all listed there in the amounts, and then all the associated documentation is within the resolution. You have questions about specific items, or would you like for me to go down through them? Okay.
No, I don't.
Any other comments or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Down to 8, approval of vendor invoice payments.
I move we pay the AP.
We have a motion. Any comments or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. In your correspondence and notifications, you have the issued building permits. Are there any questions regarding those? We will move on to committee reports. Counselor Chenoweth.
Thank you. Personnel Committee met last week, discussed the results of the employee survey. Lenny from Align HR was here and sort of went over that with us. We had those results emailed to all of council members. Everyone has a copy of that now. We discussed the new Align HR tool to be utilized by employees with respect to, I guess, issues they're having. They can submit their issues online or in a paper format, and those will be received by Align HR to be dealt with. Just another tool to be utilized if there's an issue that needs to be addressed. With back to the employee surveys, I guess a big part of the employee surveys was lack of communication between departments and within City Hall. So hopefully we're going to take some measures to address that and try to improve that for the employees. Our next personnel meeting is September 9th, I believe, at noon. That's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you. Counselor Guy.
No report.
Thank you. Counselor Hinchman.
I have a couple of things. I had to do some research for another entity, so I decided to go ahead and to do the research on Elkins. In
Can
Randolph-
you speak right into the mic? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
All right, Randolph County. We've had 110 new businesses from September to August. Elkins in our four corners. I run it from April 1 when we started council. We've had 45 new businesses, and that ends as of August the 31st. Went ahead and did the math on it, and we've lost 13 businesses, which basically comes down to we're replacing, every time we lose a business, we're replacing it with 3. So that's a good thing. The ARPA, I've done a lot of research on it and talked to a lot of the employees. And I can pleasantly say that a lot of our employees are trying to save the city money and doing very good at it. But we haven't kept up with the equipment. We really have to look at that. And my hat goes off to all of the city employees. They've done very well. Finance meets next Thursday at 9 o'clock. ARPA meets on the 14th. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Friddle.
The ad hoc hiring committee will be holding their initial meeting on next Tuesday at 2:30.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for chairing that, sir. Counselor Higgins.
I have no report this evening.
Thank you. Counselor Bros-Friganera.
Sure. We have a Rules and Ordinance Committee meeting next Wednesday, September the 8th. And I know one of the items of discussion will be making the vacant properties definitions a little more clear. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen an agenda yet, but I haven't checked my mail recently. And then we also, I plan to have the ad hoc committee on marketing on Wednesday, September 21st at 9 o'clock. I'd really like to get that going, especially in light of Mr. Doak's remarks. I think there's a lot of ways that we can be working a little more collaboratively with all these various organizations. The Planning Commission met this afternoon for a couple hours. We're going through all the comments that people have provided us from both the public and also City Council. We made it halfway through. We're hoping to finish that up later this month and then put out what we hope will be pretty much the final draft, and that will be presented to council hopefully, let's see, then that would be early November, and then start the process of public comment. And one of the things that we are hoping to do, and it's all, of course, COVID-based, is have public comment with the opportunity of also having information sharing. Because one of the things that we feel is that it won't be a successful document if people come to the meeting and just ask questions and we can't either correct misinformation or misinterpretation. We really want to be able to explain the document, listen to concerns, and if necessary, reflect those concerns and any adjustments. So we look forward to having those public information/comment period meetings sometime this, early winter if we can. That's it.
Thank you. Councilor Kwanzo.
I just would like to announce that the tree board meeting will be canceled for the 7th of September, and we'll let you know when it's going to be rescheduled. There haven't been any meetings since the last council meeting, so the municipal properties will hold their next meeting on the 15th at 9 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Vest.
No report.
And Councilor Parker.
No report this evening, sir.
Thank you. Okay, over to our administrative officer reports. Lieutenant Belt.
We've got 2 officers currently in Police Academy. If anybody's aware that they had to shut down the academy, they're doing it online now. Not sure when they'll return to Charleston. Davis will be heading there the 13th. He'll be doing 2 weeks online, and then he'll have to go to Charleston for 2 days, and he'll be West Virginia certified at that point.
And it was shut down due to COVID, correct?
Yes, and we currently have 1 officer off for that.
Anything else, sir?
That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Himes.
Good evening. I'll first report on the flushing. Flushing was done the last couple of weeks, and the crews finished that up on Tuesday, I believe. That's the correct day. So we did have, we were able to pull some guys from the street department as well, so we just want to say teamwork is very effective right now, so we're excited about that. Wes Lambert, our chief water operator, let me know that the next flushing schedule will be released this spring. So we're trying to get back on the twice a year schedule for flushing, which will help. Street department's busy with special pickups and work orders. They were helping the water distribution patch some of the cuts from water breaks and working on patching potholes, rebuilding catch basins, cleaning drains. They also helped clean some of the water shutoff valves for water distribution. They used the Vector truck to do that. They will be doing a project over on South Kearns and South 12th. They're going to install a drain pipe and a catch basin there. There's some problems with it on the corner. The neighbor, I think it's 1212, is having some flooding issues. So they're going to be working on that in the next couple of weeks. Mostly in operations, it's been busy. I'm trying to catch up on some project work, and we are finished with our water project. I'm just waiting on Charlotte from USDA just to give me the last little bit of information that she needs. That project will close on September 10th. And phase 2 project is in the works now. The crews actually are helping relocate a water line down on 15th and Lavalette. So they're working on that now, and I think Sutton has posted some photos on Facebook. If you guys want to look at that, it's pretty cool. They are putting the drain underneath the line, so it's neat. They were also working on South Davis Avenue paving, and I talked with Derek Rogers this afternoon, and he said they'll be heading from 15th down towards Woodford tomorrow and laying pipes. So phase 2, and then we're going to meet, several of us are going to meet with Mike Davis from Burgess and Nyepel prior to the sanitary board meeting to go over some of the change orders and closeouts of the Phase 2 project, and then use of contingency money. And then we're going to talk about our long-term control plan, proposals for future projects, and funding options. So it's a long agenda, but there's a lot of upcoming things that need to happen, so closing out some things, so he's going to help me with that. And then I think that might be it. Oh, I feel like there was something else I was going to say.
Doing some paving still, right?
Can't hear you.
Yeah, for the Phase 2, yes, yeah. And they'll pave as they get areas completed, and towards the end, mid-October is when they'll complete everything. Yeah, so they're concreting, as they move through the trenches and trying to make it as manageable as possible to travel through there. I know they did have to mill down quite a bit on South Davis, so they sprayed everything with orange paint, so, put up signs. So I think they're very, very aware of, the public, and Derek normally calls me from Bear Contracting to let me know if something's happening, so we can just put notifications out there. Sutton's been wonderful helping us with that, so it's great to get out those notifications ahead of time, and then it cuts down on, calls and questions. I think a lot of folks really appreciate that. I think that's it. Anybody have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Judy?
Good evening as well. We continue to work on our financial statements, which will be due by the end of September, as well as the water and sewer annual reports for the Public Service Commission. I spoke with Chris Lee from the Fuel Gainer Center, and as many of you are aware, he is working on a synthetic gym floor that is due to start being installed on September 15th. The cost of that project is $70,158, and Chris has done an excellent job fundraising. We have received in either donations or pledges for $54,295. So he's done an outstanding job with that. And that is all I have.
Thank you. Chief Himes?
Good evening, everyone. We had 47 calls we responded to in August. I have spent the last week and a half on the phone with the ISO evaluator. Our audit is scheduled for October the 26th. We have gotten really good feedback from him, and we are extremely confident and hopeful of a great evaluation. In conjunction with the flushing program, me and my new best friend in the back row, Wes, back there, because we now talk every day, we've been working on a lot of stuff that has been missed or not conveyed appropriately during that evaluation in regards to the water system. That the water system itself makes up 40% of our score, so it's a very important component. And the last thing I want to share with you is tell you a little story. Every time we leave the building, typically it's for some type of an emergency. Well, we about had one of our own on Friday. We had a small gas leak in the station. It was diagnosed rather quickly, and the gas was shut off. So Monday, we decided we're going to fix this problem. Now, I'm fortunate that a lot of our guys have real-world skills outside of the fire service. We've got guys who know how to pour concrete. We got guys who know how to lay gas line, mechanic work, electrical work, all kinds of neat stuff. But we had a resource problem as far as tools and equipment go. And I want to echo Melody's statement about teamwork, because in the space of about 6.5 hours, we had a concrete saw from water distribution, to cut the floor because the gas line was buried in the shop bay floor under 6 inches of concrete. So water distribution brings us a concrete saw. We cut the floor up. Sean and the guys from streets brings us the jackhammer. We jackhammered the floor up. Found our problem because the gas line wasn't together anymore. Of course, it had been in the ground for about 45 years, so these things happen. New gas line run, checked, and it was already quitting time for the gas company. So we didn't get back up and running the same day, but street and water distribution saved our behinds. So the boys would have still been down there with sledgehammers if it wasn't for Sean. So in addition to that, we had stone to fill in the hole and concrete to pour. So concrete's poured. If it gets covered with a rug, so you'll never know it's there. And we're back up and running. The boys can cook now. So yeah. So I especially wanted you guys to know that that other departments have our back too. So
Thank you, sir.
that's all I have.
Ms. Sutton.
Just a really quick mention about the parking lot. I mean, it is progressing, as you saw with the change orders, but I just want to say what a pleasure it has been to work with Polino and the subcontractors that they've chosen, which are mostly local folks, and they've been very easy to work with, communicate very well, and just, I think, are doing excellent work. We should actually be able to be back in the lot maybe by the end of next week, parts of it anyway, where we can get employees. But I also want to thank the employees for being flexible about parking. I know I walk outside every day and have to take a couple of minutes to remember where I parked my car that day. But so far, I've been very appreciative of everyone working together on that project. That's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Roberts.
Thank you, Mayor. Just two short things. The ordinance that was passed on first reading this evening, number 289, concerning the proper name for the Phil Gaynor Community Center. I spoke with our representative at American Legal Publishing, who recently did the recodification, and they will, once the ordinance is passed and sent to them, they'll make any changes on the electronic version of it need to be made with regard to that. And the other thing I wanted to mention, I spoke with Mr. Rodecker, who is the attorney in Charleston that the city has used for many years with Public Service Commission matters. He will be getting some documents shortly from Suddenlink in response to the request from the Public Service Commission, and we'll be reviewing them and sharing that information. And he wanted to remind everyone there will be a formal hearing with the Public Service Commission with regard to their investigation on October the 6th. So that's the matter that the city agreed to join in with Charleston and Beckley, who also have franchise agreements with Suddenlink. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Down to mayor's comments. I have a couple items tonight. The ARPA funding survey online, approximately we have received about 200 responses to date. I want to remind people the deadline for this is midnight on September 12th. This is the community's opportunity to weigh in to say, this is their idea of how we should spend this money. We're looking forward to you guys providing input. Like I said, right now we have approximately 200 entries on that. We'd like to see that grow. Regarding the COVID numbers, we're still continuing to monitor and track that. We haven't made any major changes here. We will continue to follow CDC and state guidelines going forward, and if something changes, we will definitely push that out. And the last thing I have is that I hope everyone has a great and blessed Labor Day weekend. So be safe while you're out there. And now with no objections, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
Oh, can I say one thing real quick?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. I would like to mention that tomorrow there will be a welcome back celebration for Davis and Elkins triathlete coach, Chris Hammer, who lives in the Weiss neighborhood. And So he's coming back from the Paralympics. He came in 4th place in the world, missing 3rd place by just 8 seconds. So the college is having a welcome back parade, which starts at the Martin Field House at 11:30 tomorrow. Makes a left turn on Sycamore and then a right on Boundary Avenue. So if you would like to come out, wave some American flags and ring some cowbells, that would be awesome. I'm hoping that there'll be a good turnout, especially from the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do
Actually,
have
And
one
the whole
other-
town.
I do have one more alibi. 16 years ago, with my previous career, I was deployed to Louisiana after Hurricanes Katrina and Rita hit. The people in Louisiana are very, very resilient, but definitely keep them in your thoughts and prayers after the recovery now of Ida. My heart goes out to them, but I know they are very strong-willed people and they're very resilient. Like I said, having spent 5 weeks down there, I know what kind of people we're dealing with. But like I said, they're a lot like West Virginians. They're very resilient. So please keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And with no other...
I got one other thing I forgot.
Yes, sir. This
I
party just
forgot
won't
to-
end.
I know. I forgot to say that the West Virginia Secretary of State, the Bureau of Statistics and Databases, where the information came from. The other thing I neglected to say is there was 1,052 cities, and we come in 23 in there in new businesses, which puts us in the top 2.19%.
Thank you, sir.
I move we adjourn.
Adjourned.